I don't know if most Americans know this, but America is importing 209,000 barrels of oil a day from Russia and 500,000 barrels of petrochemicals. And I think that's a shame. I'm ashamed that the government is doing that as an American. We should stop that immediately. Two, if we give some tax incentives to the oil companies, we can start drilling everywhere, opening every pipeline, and sending oil, not only become energy independent, but start sending oil and natural gas to Europe, which would make our country richer and would virtually bankrupt Russia. And consequently, I think that's exactly what we should do. Also, by pumping more oil, we were going to lower the inflation rate. We're going to add more American jobs. And it's going to put our country in a lot better place. So to answer Andrew's question earlier, without going to the military option, we can do an economic option that I think would put us in an absolutely fabulous place. And as I said, virtually bankrupt Russia so they couldn't do any more incursions like they're doing in the Ukraine.
Hey, Mark, let's just start on this point. I know that you've been having this, don't buy any more Russian crude, and that is certainly something a lot of people talk about. But let's put it in context. Only about 3% of our imports are coming from Russia. They're there because we have refineries that need certain levels of crude, certain types of crude, and they're filling a gap that was there from Venezuela. I don't argue with you. I think it'd be good to kind of get rid of it. But let's explain how much it is and why it's there. Look, it's a global market. Oil is a global market. It's a fungible commodity. It's going to go to different places. There is right now, we were just talking about the discount that's being paid for Russian oil because nobody wants it. Nobody wants to get stuck with it, and nobody wants to give money to the Russians at this point. But let's look at this holistically. How do we fix these things and look maybe more broadly? Are you talking about shutting down global trade, or is this just a situation with simply the Russians?
It's a situation simply with the Russians. The Russians supply a tremendous amount, and you're correct, Becky, it's only 3% for America. But it shouldn't be, in my humble opinion, 1 barrel for America. And the real issue is that the Russians supply a tremendous amount of oil and natural gas to Europe, and we could replace Russian oil with American oil. Then to get to your question about Chairman Powell, I think inflation with the price of oil where it is going to go higher in both the PPI and the CPI indexes. The way I calculate inflation, Becky, is an average of the two. We're currently at 8.7%. We're going to probably go higher in the next round of data releases. On the other hand, we have the war in Ukraine, and I think the Fed has to be very careful, very cautious. You know, raise rates a quarter of a point and see how that goes. Raise maybe another quarter. But I think if we get overly aggressive, if the Fed gets overly aggressive, not only in the cutting back, but also in cutting back on its inventory, on its what it owns right now.
Balance sheet, yeah.
Balance sheet, we could put ourselves in a difficult place and put ourselves in a recession, and I'm sure the government and the Fed doesn't want to do that.